How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to TheBlueShifting, and welcome back to Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 2. So, last time we met Sion, the totally real and not fake sister to Mion, when they were serving in the restaurant that was very, very sketchy. But, it is what it is, right? Someone commented about before how, like scenes like that whole sequence in the restaurant and just, like, the uniforms and, like, the implications and all that stuff is one of the reasons why it can be kind of hard to recommend visual novels to people, because you know that could be kind of a hard point stop where, like, it might bother them. And you're right, especially when it's put in to just check boxes, which is not something I'm not a big fan of. I have no problem with H scenes or costumes or outfits or whatever, genuinely, but I usually want to at least have, like, some relation to plot. And that sequence wasn't too bothersome to me because it was kind of this idea of flipping the situation where Keiichi had been embarrassed walking around in a maid outfit, and then he almost got, like, kind of a karmic rebalancing by seeing Mion, of all people, well, Shion, of all people, in a similar compromising type of outfit. So there is a narrative kind of hook there that I can kind of accept, but you gotta also point out, like someone pointed out, like the other uncomfortableness about it is that everyone in here is like, they're definitely underage, all of them. It's like, oh yeah, sure, let's have like a, I don't know, like a 17-year-old wearing that outfit at a restaurant getting ogled by a bunch of dudes. It's like, cool, very comfortable, nah, at all. But I also kind of wanted to point out the idea ultimately that there are tropes and things that happen in visual novels, and while there's a lot of fantastic ones, it kind of comes with the territory. And part of the reason why you can't recommend certain games to people because of that kind of stuff is because it probably just wouldn't be something they'd be that interested in anyway, which is unfortunate, because you'd feel like, well, I feel like everyone could relate with like 99% of this game, and it's just this one part they don't like. But I mean, that's the case with a lot of media. I mean, read a lot of older books, even like some of the classics, and there's tons of stuff in there that might make people uncomfortable or make them not want to read it. Les Mis is a masterpiece. It's one of my favorite books of all time. But the subject matter and the length of the book and the language, like the translation, just like how like it was, how it sounds and how the words it uses could be a massive barrier for people that would prevent them from enjoying the amazing work that it is. Visual novels have similar barriers, but it is unfortunate when it's barriers that are there that are not critical or even that impactful to the story. That's where it becomes kind of annoying, because it's like there's so much more that could have been here and different types of scenes that could have been highlighted that didn't need to be. But that's a whole discussion. I just wanted to bring it up because it was on my mind after reading comments from the video that got posted. So just food for thought. I'd love to know if you have a second, like, have you been trying to share visual novels with people who've never had them before? Now's a good time. I don't know if the sale will still be on when this goes live, but there is the Steam VN sale going right now. It's a decent time to recommend or even buy a gift for somebody. But is there anything that holds you back from that? But then I also would love to know, in return, how did you get involved in visual novels to begin with? Like, did someone go out on a limb and show it to you? Did you just click on it on a whim, despite like maybe the partial knowledge you knew about them? For me, visual novels were something I became aware of because I'd always enjoyed choose your own adventure books and stories. Like there were little books you could get when you were a kid. The Goosebumps series particularly, I remember, where like you would be given choices and then it would tell you what page to turn to, and so you'd have this kind of game you'd play with a book, and I thought that was the coolest thing in the world and wished I could find more of it. And then I was on YouTube looking at anime content, and somebody was playing a visual novel, and I got hooked. I was like, what is this? This is exactly what I've always wanted. I've never knew this kind of game existed. And so then I got my first visual novel, and the fun thing is that I never played it without recording it. Like, I decided at that time I was also considering making content on YouTube because I thought the concept of being able to connect with people online, especially when I didn't know if I could do it in person for certain subjects, was like something I was entertaining. It was an idea of something I wanted to give a try. And then a visual novels popped up, and I was like, this is like something I am super incredibly interested in. Not a lot of people do it on YouTube, even at that time. And now I kind of want to make content, so I tried it. And so every visual novel I've read has been on the channel, which is kind of cool. It's like a library of me as a brand new person just barely starting out with Sound of Drop Falling to Poison, which is one I grabbed on a whim. One of the other ones I got fairly early on was like Ace Academy and Sunrider and Muv-Luv. Like that's kind of where all this began. And now look where we are. Look where we're going to go. Like look at all the heights we can achieve. But anyway, I digress. I've been ranting a while. Let's start it because it's time for us to figure out what grand fun adventures we get to have. Because remember, the first half is always going to be fun, fun, fun. Let's see what adventures we get up to this time. Hey, Teach.
いいですか皆さん。お料理は真剣にやらないと思わぬ怪我をします。
That's true. And it's one of those skills that like you always assume you don't need until you suddenly like actually move out of your house or go to college or something and you're like, I don't know how to like make food.
これも授業ですから、ふざけないでしっかりやってくださいね。
A lazy yeah wafted through the classroom response. Half the school day was going to be home economics class. My cat's crying and I don't know why. Oh, wait, did I skip that line? If everybody were making curry in the same pot, it would all have been more like a party atmosphere, but this was school after all. If everybody, oh, so it is that line, okay. Oh, the line before. The plan was for everybody to make curry rice, give it to the forest rangers who lent the building rented out for the school. If everyone were making curry in the same pot, it would have been more like a party-like atmosphere, but this was a school after all. Excluding the younger students, each one of us would be making our own curry with the results being judged. Like by who? By the rangers?
いいですか？今でこそカレーライスは手軽で簡単で誰にでも作れるメニューということになっていますが、カレーは本来インドを発祥とする古式ゆかしいちゃんとしたお料理です。
I'm a huge fan of curry. Curry is amazing.
日本式にアレンジされたとはいえ、そこには古代インドの英知と文化が込められています。夢夢、そのことをおろそかにしないように。
Okay.
真剣にやらない人は先生が本気で怒りますから、そのつもりで。
Serious teacher face there, oh boy. That seemed like needlessly passionate sermon on curry. Well, whatever.
知恵先生はカレーに命かけてるって噂でしたよ。
I mean, it sounds like it.
採点はきっと厳しいですわよ。
Oh, also, someone mentioned something. I think you said the P key. Yeah, you can switch the style. Whoa. So like that's the remake. They said they were surprised I didn't do that when I was in the with Shion and the outfit, but the other side of that, I didn't. I'm sure I read at some point, but I get so caught up in the story, I kind of lose track of it. So yeah, I mean, you gotta admit the style of the remake is kind of nice. Like it's a crisp look to it. And then there's the original, which is crazy. But the console's the nice one because it has animation.
家庭科の点数なんか赤点でさえなければ適当でいいんだよ、適当で。
適当なんて言わない方がいいよ。先生、カレーに関しては鬼だから。
なんだよ、そのカレーの鬼って。
Curry tired.
初耳だぞ。
普段は温厚ないい先生なんだけどね。
I do a little bit more. Oh, whoa. I'm not a fan of the Mion that's in this style. Rena looks relatively the same. Not, like, I don't know, like, why, but I like her face a lot more at the console version. Oh, and then, of course, there's this one. Didn't she have a gun in the first game? But, yeah, here we go.
どういう
No
の
more of
と
that.
か
No
カ
more
レ
of
ーに
that.
だけはうるさいんだよ。変質的なくらいに。
うん、秘伝のカレーを研究するためにって言って、毎年インドに旅行に行ってるって言ってたもんね。
That's dedication, especially because I imagine a teacher doesn't make a great salary for travel.
風の噂ですと、ご飯は3食カレーライスで、たまに他のものを食べる時でも必ずカレー味というこだわりぶりらしいですの。
That'd be the most ridiculous thing.
それ変質的というより変態的だぞ。
Hentai? That's a natural.
何か悪い宗教にでも入ってるんじゃないのか。だいたいカレーなんてジャンクフードの筆頭じゃねえかよ。3食カレーなんて栄養的にも偏って。
Bam! Thunk, thunk, thunk. Embedded in the table right by my fingertips, a chef's knife, ladle, and spatula humming gently as they still quivered. The teacher, while still mixing her own pot, was looking this way, smiling. She is apparently serious. Holy crap!
それ以上言ったら埋葬される。
Yeah, we'll be murked. Saying even a little bit more would make my situation a lot more dire. Oh well, haven't we seen that before, Keiichi?
へいへい、しっ かり真面目にカレーを作ればいいわけだろ。
でも今日はそう簡単にはいかないのです。
Oh no.
みーちゃんが。
Alright, one last time, one last time. Oh, interesting. Rika looks really different. Anyway. Written all over her face. If the playing field is even, we'll be judged. There's no way this won't turn into a competition. Alright.
わかってるねみんな。
Of course.
勝負だ
I knew it. There's no way Mion would let such an enticing event alone.
勝敗はどうするでございますの？先生の採点で決めますの？
If I sang, but wait, there's more! The teacher reappeared with the principal in tow.
今日は営林署の皆さんへの感謝のイベントですから、先生だけでなく採点はみんなで行いますよ。
At least they're likely to be not be as harsh.
わしと先生と、それから営林署の方5人で採点する。各自健闘を祈るぞ。
Even the principal. Looking around, it seemed like the interest of everybody in the class had been piqued.
そういうわけ。のんびりしたカレーパーティーなんかには終わらせないよ。
Right.
カレーは得意だよ。
Oh, you're right, she is. Oh, I think Rena's gonna win no matter what.
今日は負けないよ。私の学年は班で作りますから、リカと一緒なのですわよ。
汚ねえ。リカちゃんは、確か、かなりの料理上手じゃ。
I bet she is.
僕のカレーで美味しくって体がどうにかなっちゃうのです。
So then your problem might be the others in your team might log you down. What about Mion? She doesn't seem like she's too good at cooking. Her type has always been bad at this kind of thing. But Mion continued to look unconcerned. Like, the thing is, even if she's not the most confident, which she's probably got something up her sleeve, but even if she didn't, she has to just beat you.
ケイちゃんが今思ってることを当ててあげるよ。ミオンはきっと料理が下手に違いない。でしょう。
I don't like the way she said that. It couldn't be. Mion couldn't possibly. At that moment, the teacher's whistle sounded.
では皆さん、いいですか？
I will say I would actually do well at this. Not in school. If I were in this class at this age and like it was actually me, awful, atrocious, terrible. But nowadays, I have learned how to cook, and curry is one of my favorite things to make.
刃物には十分に気をつけてくださいね。
It's kind of crazy that they're giving like middle school or even high school and middle schoolers like sharp knives to cook with, but it's good. Like I wish my school had done this kind of thing.
はじめ!
The call to arms had sounded. Alright, Keiichi, what you gonna do? We had to use an outdoor kit to cook the rice, but it wasn't that difficult for a camping veteran like me. Put the rice in the canister, push your palm to the bottom, fill the water to just above the wrist.
本当にそんな水加減でいいんですの？もっと入れないといけないそうですのよ。
You filthy liar. If I put in any more, it'll just be left with some half-cooked porridge.
さとこ、それが罠のつもりなら残念だったな。俺は慣れてるぞ、飯盒炊飯は。はじめちょろちょろ中パッパ。赤子泣いても蓋取るな。
Oh, that's pretty basic.
ケイチくんすごいね。ちょっと意外。サマーキャンプで習ったのかな？
親父がデイキャンプが好きでさ、夏場なんかにはよく家族で出かけるんだよ。
That sounds lovely.
ってことは、全員ご飯の炊き方は問題なし。つまり、勝負の分かれ目はカレーの方ってことになるね。
Yeah.
カレーこそリカの独壇場ですのよ。
Don't think you can rest on your laurels, Satoko.
皆さんなんかコテンパンですわ。
リカのってとこが泣けるぞ。お前も何か料理を手伝えよ。
ひょっとするとさとこちゃんは何もお手伝いをしないのが一番のお手伝いなのかもね。
I can believe that.
勝負は勝てば官軍でございますわよ。
Like, it's emasculating, but I must win. That was a pretty malicious comment for Rena. And Satoko took a hook, line, and sinker. Rena could only apologize between fits of laughter while Satoko chased her around.
じゃあ、早速カレーの方に行こうかね。
Uh-huh.
ここからが勝負どころだよ。
Bring it on! After rinsing off carrots, potatoes, and other standard vegetables, I grasped the knife. Gulp.
今日 んのカレーはどんな味?
If he's doing it as a competition, actually the biggest goal he wants is he needs consistency. He needs to cut the carrots and the potatoes into pieces that are really close to the same size. Uniformity is really nice when you're trying to make something look professional, but mostly it's getting the right size because you don't want some potato chunks and carrot chunks to be cooked all the way and others not. As Rena hummed along, her very well-practiced hands wielded her knife. The rhythmic sound of the knife hitting the cutting board harkened to kind images of days long past. Simply put, it was perfect. It was so calm and practiced, I seriously didn't stand a chance. I looked over at Satoko and Rika-chan. Satoko was in charge of washing the vegetables, while Rika-chan was in charge of peeling them. That's what I heard being discussed, but Rika-chan's knife skills are something else as well. She was happily rotating the potato and peeling it quite quickly. On top of that, the peel spanned the entire potato. What was that called again? Katsuramuki? That's where you like do a peel all in one piece. It's like supposed to be like a show off or skill thing. That's kind of odd to me though, because I understand like it's probably good to learn how to peel with just a knife, but peelers are just so convenient, where it's just like and you're done. I've heard that peeling a vegetable in one loop around like that is a highly regarded technique. She picked up the peel from the sink and carved a pair of eyes into it with her knife. It's a steak.
ヘビさんなのですよ。ガオー。
Saying that she placed out a longly peeled potato skin on top of the head of a boy from her group. She wasn't even breaking a sweat. When it comes to Rika-chan, the cooking, I couldn't even hold a candle to her. But, rar? Do snakes make that sound? Alright then, how's Mion doing? She's definitely just fumbling along. There's no way she could peel a potato so effortlessly like that. Absolutely no way.
そんなわけあるか
Oh no.
絶対嘘だトリックだ SFX だワイヤーとか使ってるに違いない
ほれビローン
As if she'd already won, Mion proudly showed me the elegant potato skin.
ケイチは知らないですか？ミーはおばあちゃんに
Oh
お料理とかも教えてもらってるですよ。
Again, it's all stacked. We can't win.
料理だけじゃないよ。裁縫からお花におこと重機から無線機ヘリの操縦まで
What
何でもできるんだからね。
What the fetch? They say she just learned all that, or is that all from her grandma? Because it's all from one grandma. That's insane. Marksmanship? Interesting. Oh, that might be why she has the gun. That's interesting too. I imagine it'd be a lot harder to learn how to handle a gun in Japan. Like I imagine like the shooting ranges are a lot more strict and a lot more infrequent. Radio operation though, that's something I wanted to learn, but I never could. I tried to make the time for it, but I just couldn't manage it. Strangely enough, the latter items seemed items were more realistic. It was the first few items on the list that seemed like a lie.
本当はすっごくお料理上手なんだよ。面倒くさがって全然作らないけどね。
I still think Beyond, like, she's crazy, obviously, but, like, she's also probably my favorite character. Dang it! I'm also really good at cooking, especially Chinese food.
ケイチ、お湯を沸かして注ぐのは料理に入りませんです。
No, seasonings are really where the cooking comes in. Shut down before I can even say it.
ざまあないですわね。今日はケイチさんの一人負け確定ですわよ。
Clank.
てめえだって料理できないだろが
リカかわいそうです。僕がケイチをコテンパンにしてあげますです。
She's so sweet, she says that. God, this does not look good. Everybody's smirking at me. Don't raise the white flag yet, Keiichi Maibara. Don't throw away this match. Calm down and think. Not about how to peel the potatoes well, but about how to win this challenge.
ここはギャラリーが多い俺他の流しで仕事するから
Saying only that, I gathered up all my vegetables and left the spot behind.
ケイチくん大丈夫かな？包丁で指とか切らないか心配。
さてケイちゃんのお手並み拝見だね。
No matter how hard I try peeling these, if I slip up to the speed, I'll lop my fingers right off. Then, there's only one thing left to do.
富田君岡村君
Ah, it's our boys!
お君たちは4人でグループか
It was the two underclassmen who had become my sworn brothers ever since the event at the toy store last Sunday. They had been paired with two girls from their group.
女子2人が料理とか得意なんで。 俺らは遊んでるだけで OK です。
That's very nice of them. Both of them pointed at the girls. They're not as good as Rena, but they were good enough to handle the knife.
単刀直入に言おう。このままでは部活に負ける。君たちの班が向いた野菜をくれ。
前原さん、それほとんど恐喝です。
Yeah, he better not get this.
でもまあ話によっては
Clever.
交渉次第なら OK ってことですよ。
たくましい奴らだな。まあ当然だ。ではこうしよう。俺が勝てたらサトコ&リカちゃんグループのカレーを食わせてやる。これならどうだ。
え、あ、どうしようかな。
Both of them were hesitant at such a weighty proposal. Just one more little push seemed in order. Very well then, let's make them an offer they can't refuse. I pulled both of them close by the shoulder and made an offer in a hushed tone.
もちろん、サトコとリカちゃんの食べかけをだ。
You suck. You suck.
スプーンもつける。
You, Splooge. A red mist sprouted vigorously from the noses of the two underclassmen.
あら、ケイチさんも結構やりますのね。綺麗なじゃがいもですこと。
Having brilliantly cleared the vegetable peeling challenge, I returned to my comrades in triumph.
へえ、すごいねすごいね。ケイチくんの皮むき上手だよ。
違うね。ケイちゃんが剥いたのはじゃがいもじゃなく牙でしょ。
ああ、俺はとっくに本気だぞ。てめえらまとめてぶっ潰してやるぜ。
How you gonna? But he better follow up, because if he leaves those boys hanging, they're never gonna help him again. Having finished with preparing the vegetables, next is boiling a pot of water. Then add the vegetables in order which takes the longest to cook. I learned this from my mom when I went camping. I don't know. He just said potatoes and carrots, right? It's interesting because that can vary, but usually I would put them in at roughly the same time. Maybe the carrots first because they can be a little tougher, but potatoes take surprisingly long to cook if you don't like make them small enough. But if they're too small, they'll actually like render out. They'll like kind of fall apart. But just cooking in order probably won't garner a lot of points. Looking over at Rena, she had a variety of vegetables cooking together at a delicate balance. She wasn't being ambitious or calculating in a way to win the game. She was making delicious food with a mother's touch. I had a feeling I could somehow compete with Mion in terms of technique, but it would be no match for Rena. She was way out of my league.
うちのお母さんのカレーはね、いっつも具だくさんだったんだよ。だからレナのカレーも具だくさんなの。本当は一晩かけてじっくり煮たいんだけどね。
Oh yeah, no, that's the way to do it. But actually, that's one of the things I want to try next, because I've done like fast cook curries, and we've done a slower cook as well, where you let it rest all night, or like kind of like stew all night. But I want to try making a slow cooker curry, because you could probably get the benefit of the long cook time that you get, but you don't have to wait as long.
頼む。俺のカレーにも少しお力を貸してくれないか。
ダメだよ。
Yep.
これ部活だもの。レナは負けないよ。
When she enters club mode, even the normally kind Rena becomes an enemy. Looks like Rika-chan is cooking apples as well. She's like a pro at this. Apples is a pretty fun addition to a curry. You get it nice and sweet. How about Mion?
あ、ミヨンてめえ、そりゃなんだよ。ハンバーグなんてどこから。
Oh, you.
行事予定表で今日のことをあらかじめ知ってたからね。
She's got ya.
下ごしらえはバッチリってわけ。
That's clever.
私のカレーはゴージャスに行くよ。
Upon closer inspection, it looked like Mion brought her own vegetables and spices and other ingredients. They were all spread all over the place. Mion, just for today, you brought this stuff from your house?
異議あり。先生、こんなのありですか。
異議を却下します。
She's like, nothing gets in the way of curry.
美味しいカレーができれば先生は何でも OK です。
Wait a minute, can we just go buy curry then? For the normally serious teacher to go this far to append a star to the end of her sentence. Just as the rumor said, it's a through curry freak.
レナとリカちゃんは天性の料理上手。私は入念な事前準備。で、ケイちゃんは？
It's hopeless. In the grand scheme of cooking, peeling the vegetables is only a small part of it. The hurdles I must overcome are just too numerous and too high. I also like the psychological idea there. Ren and Rika-chan, they're gifted, and it feels like they handle problems head on. I wonder if that's going to be something we'll see, because we definitely see that with Rena, where it's not like Rena planned the stalk and gather information about us in the first chapter. It was that she just knew she was good at paying attention. She was excellent at listening, and she knew when to kind of make her moves. She still made some mistakes for sure, but she definitely had skill and talent, whereas Mion seems to be the coordinating and planning type. In fact, she seemed overwhelmed because she felt like she hadn't planned well enough, hadn't accounted for things that she should have been accounting for towards the end of the last chapter. So I wonder if this is a reflection of just the way that these characters approach problems. Turning around, I saw the voices calling belonging to the two underclassmen from earlier, Tomita-kun and Okumura-kun.
なんだよお前ら。その鍋はなんだよ。お前らの班のか？
これ気づかれないうちに前原さんの鍋とすり替えてください。うちの女子のカレーなら前原さんが作るよりは出来はいいと思います。
There, you guys, for me.
勘違いしないでくださいよ。僕たち前原さんに勝ってもらわないと。
Oh, that's right. If I don't win, the talk of eating Satoko Rika-chan's curry goes right out the window. Seems like you guys are getting riled up about this too.
すまん、世話になる。だが、お前らのグループの女子がよく許したな。
前原さん、俺たちも本気ってことです。
Oh, they're wheeling dealing too? Filling in the day duty 3 times. These guys, to assure me victory, have paid the price. Dang, that's impressive, kids. Your gaze fills my burning conviction from the underclassmen. Yeah, I'm not fighting this alone. I'm fighting this with everyone.
任せておけ。腹は空かせておけよ。絶対に食わせてやるからな。
お待ち申し上げております。
You better deliver. There's a gas stove, so controlling the heat is easy. All that's left to do is let it stew a bit. The delicious smell of curry begins wafting upwards. The pot gifted me by my 2 underclassmen certainly drew some double takes. Rena even looked surprised when she came to look at it, so it must be pretty good.
ケイちゃん、やるじゃない。これは最後までわからない勝負になったね。
ケイチくんのカレー、レナも食べてみたくなっちゃうな。
レナのカレーもミオンのカレーもみんな強敵だよ。俺の最善は尽くしたが、結果はどうか。
ケイチさん、リカが呼んでますわよ。言ってあげてでございますわ。
Uh-oh, I bet she knows. What? Rika-chan's calling me? What could it be? Well, whatever. Are they gonna try and sabotage? Well, I'm mad I can gather some intelligence on the enemy. Are they gonna sabotage it, though? Watch your pot. Rika-chan was doodling on the ground in front of the pot. Because all that's left to do is let it stew. Even then, it's good to know she doesn't leave the stove unattended. Like you!
よ、リカちゃんの方はどんな具合だい？
カレーさんなのです。
Huh? Rika-chan was doodling something strange and introduced it as Mr. Curry.
カレーさんはすごいのです。目からビームも出ます。
Also, this music's really weird. It sounds like a fair, but it's also kind of creepy because of that.
ビー。
Okay. Apparently, Mr. Curry shoots beam from some of his eyes. Drawing a beam with a stick, she etched a line toward my feet. Does this mean I've been shot with a laser?
おー！バリアー！ビーム反射！
I took another stick in my hand to reflect the beam, striking Mr. Curry.
カレーさんのお腹からはミサイルも撃てるのです。
I think this whole thing is a distraction.
ビシュー。
おりゃー！前原超電磁バリアー！そして反撃のビーム！
It's cute though.
カレーさんはビームエネルギーを吸収して波動砲を撃てるのです。
Rika-chan and I scratched on the ground, thoroughly engrossed in our doodle war. Wait a minute.
なあ、リカちゃん、俺に何か用があって呼んだんじゃないのか？
はい、呼びましたですよ。でももうご用は終わっているのです。
Sabotage. He should have known. At that moment, a chill ran up my spine. Already fulfilled her purpose.
やられた！
Headed back to my pot, standing there just as I feared was Satoko. With no questions asked, she drop kicked the back of I drop kicked the back of her head.
何をしますの？レ ディの頭をなんだとお思いですの。
なことはどうでもいい。まさかサトコ、俺のカレーに何か混ぜたんじゃ。
失礼な。そこまで落ちぶれてはおりませんわ。こう見えても私、フェアですのよ。
Did you turn up the heat?
じゃあ、この、よくわからない並べ方をしてあるしゃもじとかお皿とかはなんだ。こんな不安定な置き方をして倒れたらどうすんだよ。
At that moment, a gentle breeze blew by, knocking over a ladle that stood up on its end. The ladle, like a domino, fell over. It knocked over the next cooking utensil in a row. Whap, 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 whap. Clank, clank. Thud, thud.
これは芸術だな。そういえば昔テレビでドミノ倒し世界記録に挑戦なんてのが流行ったよな。
Casey, focus! What's it going to?
ケイちゃん、フライパン。
I didn't even have time to react. The chain reaction knocked over the cutting board, then the frying pan. The next after that was my pot. The frying pan stuck my pot full force, tipping it over. The contents cruelly spilled out. Now my masterpiece is being sampled by the schoolyard. I start dumbfounded. It was such a beautiful and elaborate mousetrap for that moment. I lost touch with reality.
あらあら、大惨事ですわね。
That's so mean.
私は何もしてませんのよ。
The very last moment I had to let my guard down. I ignored the culinarily incompetent Satoko for far too long. Even if she couldn't cook, Satoko still had a method of fighting back. Just then, Rena, who had been sampling her own pot, let out a scream.
あれ？レナのカレー、しょっぱいよ。しょっぱい。
Oh my gosh! Was Rena also sabotaged? Then what about Mion?
私のはご飯がしょっぱい。やられた。
Oh no.
これで邪魔者は戦う前に全て一掃でございますのよ。せっかくの力作が台無しなのです。
Oh, you two are evil!
かわいそかわいそなのです。かわいそかわいそですわよ。
You could just like take a salt shaker, twist, like open the lid, just casually throw it into the pot! Rika-chan and Satoko rub their dumbfounded heads in their to their heart's content. Pushing the desks together, it was about time for the meals to be judged. The delicious odor of curry spread throughout the courtyard. The members of the forest service whom we owed gratitude for their daily work were guided to their seats. The principal gave a bit of a ceremonial introduction. Next, the teacher expressed her desire for them to judge the curry contest. The men from the forestry service seemed like they had that kind of thing. Seemed to like that kind of thing, and gave their enthusiastic approval.
さて、皆さんできましたね。ではこれから審査員の皆さんと校長先生と私で試食をしますからね。
Oh, I clicked early. Everyone in the class brought up their painstakingly made curry and arranged them on the desk. The only club members who managed a decent result were Rika-chan's group. Knowing full well it was a failure, Rena plated her curry for the judges. She already knew she was going to get a low score. But at least she was still able to serve hers. Both Mion's and my curry were completely obliterated, so we couldn't even line them up on the table. The judges started from the curry made by the lower grades. They had a lively discussion, praising the food. Finally, it was our curry's turn.
次は竜宮君のカレーであるな。実にうまそうである。
The principal cheerfully shoveled a spoonful of Rena's salty curry into his mouth. Of course, his expression immediately changed.
あらあらあら、竜宮さんどうしちゃったんですか？途中まではあんなに美味しそうだったのに。
Chie-sensei must have some expectations, judging from her disappointment.
はあ、すみません。間違えてお塩を一袋入れちゃって。
The rest of the judges grimaced as they each had a bite. I feel sorry for them.
失敗こそ成功の調味料である。次回に期待するぞ。頑張りたまえ。
Saying that, the principal devoured the rest of the oversalted curry in one go, truly a man among men. Rena was down and out. Her offensive capabilities were something else, but she was defeated due to her weak defense.
では、次は僕たちのご賞味いただくのですよ。
フルデさんの班のカレーもとっても頑張っていますね。どれどれ？素朴だけど、これはとても美味しくできてます。
Wouldn't it be hilarious if like it got swapped out or something? Or it also got sabotaged? I like how it was funny though, because like he accused Satoko of like sabotaging his curry, and she's like, I didn't sink that low, and then immediately she put salt in like Mion and Loretta, so she's absolutely willing to go that low. There was also an incident with Ren assaulted Curry right before this, so the judge's assessment was extraordinarily high. Maybe not just extraordinarily, but perhaps today's forerunner? The judges began a heated debate. One of those judges let out a sigh as he removed a chunk of carrot with a spoon.
この子のカレーも結構悪くないけどな。俺、人参嫌いなんだよね。
Personally, I think that carrots are a staple of curry. I agree. But I guess they're to each their own. However, seeing that, Rika-chan read the nameplate on the chest of his coveralls and began to speak.
ダメですよ、教授。人参を残してはいけません。
What was she saying all of a sudden? Everybody turned to Rika-chan with a stunned look. But what Rika-chan just did was super effective. The carrot-hating judge began to stuff his face with curry while tears streamed down his face.
教授、おかわりありますですよ。
Mommy! While crying like that, he continued to shovel curry into his mouth. That's right. Rika-chan's curry was by no means simple. No, that curry had the taste of a mother's cooking. With the carrot-hating judge out of the picture, Rika-chan's assessment was unanimous.
リカのカレーには誰もかないませんのよ。
Satoko let out a shrill laugh as she declared victory, but at that moment...
騙されてはなりません。審査員の皆々様方。
Oh, what do you got up your sleeve this time?
貧乏臭さをお袋の味と錯覚させるなど、まやかしもいいとこ。皆様方が本当に食べたかったのは、こういうカレーじゃない？
Oh, all of a sudden, in all perfect glory, Mion's curry. Did she have a second pot just in case? Not only the judges, but the teacher, the underclassmen, and of course myself could only gasp in admiration. Hamburg steak with a demi-glazed sauce and a fresh salad. It's all set. It's a set. You wouldn't be stretching to say that it was a full-course meal. It's perfect, perfectly made.
すごい。みーちゃんすごい。
So she just abandoned curry and just made something else.
みーちゃんすごい。
Satoko was also shocked. Even Rika-chan couldn't hide her surprise. It seemed victory was decided without even needing a taste. Of course, the hamburger was hand-kneaded. The salad also had a home-style dressing, but professional quality. And the curry, not even a micron of grit.
とっても美味しい。実に豊かな味わいですよ、園崎さん。このカレーこそインド6000年の英知と日本人
So
の
it is a
食文
curry.
化の
It
美
just
しい
it's a
融合の
curry
一致
with steak and a salad. Okay.
先生、感激です。これは満点の仕上がりですね。100点をあげちゃいます。
いえいえ、どういたしまして。クラス委員長として模範を
Oh, you
示したま
stop
でです。
that. Mion bowed politely, and then winked at us with a smirk on her face.
僕の負けなのです。
Oh.
そんなはずありませんわ。確かに半合に細工をしましたのに。
That's right. Satoko had dumped salt in Mion's rice cooker, which should have ruined it. At that moment, it hit me. I spun towards my own canister. That's why! He should get partial credit. At some point, my cooking canister had been opened and its contents completely emptied.
みよめ俺のご飯を使いやがったなずるいぞお前のカレーも半分よこせ
Mion clicked her tongue and waved a finger at me as the smirk washed over her face.
おっとケイちゃん、それは甘えてるよ。この最後の土壇場をケイちゃんは諦めた。
That's dirty.
私は諦めなかった。そういう差でしょ。勝負は捨てたらおしまいってこと。
As soon as you give up, it's all over. God, I couldn't even properly voice my shame.
みーちゃん、ケイチくんかわいそうだよ。ちょっとくらいなら分けてあげても。
いいの。これは授業料だよ。ケイちゃんは今、勝負を最後まで捨ててはいけないことを学んだの。ね。
It loathes me to say, but Mion is right. I give up so quickly on a match of my own folly. For Mion to have brought that to my attention, I should actually be thankful to her. Well then, did that mean that even in this situation I shouldn't give up?
カレーは鍋ごとひっくり返しご飯すらも残ってないこの状況でどう勝負を諦めるなんて言うんだよ
前原さん。
Tomita-kun and Okumura-kun suddenly appeared. Dang it. Even though my prodigies had tried so hard, I wasn't able to meet their expectations.
事故ですよ。仕方ないです。
Both of them were dejected. God, couldn't accept defeat so easily. That was their senior. What would it be if I didn't pick up the broken pieces of the dream I'd shown them? I just learned it from Mion just now, didn't I? Don't throw away the contest. Not until the last moment.
考えろ、前原圭一。考えるんだ。カレーを作る方法じゃない。勝負に勝つ方法だ。
Oh my gosh, what is he doing? I had an idea. I didn't think it could turn the tables, but it was better than nothing.
富田君、手を洗ってこい。手伝ってくれ。岡村君には探してきてほしいものがあるんだ。
Okay.
ボス
Ah, yeah.
了解です
Both of them despaired after receiving these instructions.
ほう、最後にケイちゃんがどうあがくか見せてもらおうじゃない。
往生際の悪い男は嫌われますのよ。
うるせえ。俺の最後の勝負を黙って見てろ。
Yes, try it.
まずミオン、お前の飯盒をもらうぞ。嫌とは言わせん。
別にいいけど、しょっぱいよ。
レナも手伝っていいよね。ケイチくん、非常事態だし。
そう言ってもらえるなら心強い。じゃあレナ、お茶を入れてくれ。
Oh, what? Okay.
はあ、信頼されてない。
それからサトゴ、そしてリカちゃん、一騎打ちを申し入れる。
Oh.
なんですってお話を伺いますですよ。
This is my duty to my two proteges who shed blood, sweat, and tears for my sake.
俺が100点をもらえたら、
Oh.
サトゴ、リカちゃん、お前らのカレーをいただく。飯抜きだ。
冗談もほどほどでございますのよ。
Interesting.
そんなのあかんぺーでございますわよ。
いや、いいでしょ、さとこ。受けなよ。
Firmly patting the top of Satoko's head, Mion said the words all of the gravities of the club president.
これだけの致命傷を与えたんでしょ。再起なんかあるわけがない。だからさとこも堂々としてなよ。どうあがこうと逆転などあるわけがない。
Uh-huh. Interesting.
そうでしょ。
そう
She's
で
like,
ご
it's
ざ
too
い
big a
ます
risk.
けど。僕はいいですよ。ケイチ、ファイト、おーです。
Fight on. All right, let's see what you got up your sleeve. The judges, seemingly growing tired by sampling the various curries, were debating each entry. From what little I overheard, it seemed that Mion's impending victory was not in question.
そういえば前原くんのカレーはどうなりましたか？先生まだ食べてませんよ。
はい、俺のカレーは鍋が
そうであるか。それは実に残念である。
カレーは失いましたが、勝負を失ったわけじゃありません。
All right, let's see what he pulled out of his hat.
皆さんをうまいと言わせてみせます。
Now, combative posturing had drawn the attention of all the judges.
まずは黙って食ってください。文句はそれから伺います。これが俺の料理だ。
So dramatic.
前原くん、それは。
おにぎりであるか。
Oh, interesting. The judges smiled wryly at the simple fare that was quite in contrast to the preceding vibrato. Rena poured tea into the cup she had brought over from the break room.
バカにしてますわ。それに、ほら、中身も何にもない、ただの塩握りではありませんの。こんなの勝負にもなりませんわ。確かに、塩加減は悪くないかもしれないけど。
Rena's expression told me that she thought this was a great idea, but it might still not be enough to win the match.
前原さん、本当にこんなので逆転できる
We
んで
have
す
to
か？
try!
後輩諸君、よく尽くしてくれた。大丈夫、黙って見てるんだ。
The judges were chewing with their mouths full and sipping at the tea. Nobody was singing praises or awestruck. The judges were quietly chowing down.
ケイちゃんも卑怯な手を使うようになったね。こりゃ辛いな。
そうか。レナにも分かったよ。
What?
どういうことです
I have no clue what's going on.
なんでみんな黙って、あんなにも食べてますの？それはね、さとこちゃん。審査員さんたちね。実は。
Ah, because they were judges, they sampled each and every offering. And because they were from small children, that they were made to show their appreciation, they couldn't eat just a little bit of each.
男はな、 時には味よりも、その時味は心震わせるものよりも素朴であることが望ましい。
They couldn't say it out loud, but this was the tastiest thing they'd had today. I confirmed that by looking at their eyes as the judges smiled wryly.
健闘は称えるが、今日はカレー勝負。これに点数を与えて良いものだろうか。
No! The teacher and the principal had folded their arms while they pondered the situation. My underlings, seeing that, saw a glimmer of hope fade away and grew dejected. Ah, is this little surprise just not enough?
諦めるな、ケイちゃん。
Mion whispered quietly. That's right. But I didn't push here.
いえ、採点はしていただきます。カレーとおにぎりを異なって評価することに、そもそも致命的な間違いがあります。
Oh, she's gonna kill you.
前原くん、何を言ってるんですか？カレーとおにぎりが、なぜ？
The principal stopped the teacher. It looked like he was giving me one final chance. The judges, having eaten their fill, quietly waited for my statement.
本場インドのカレーは、なんというパンで食べるそうですね。
Oh, man.
ですから、このカレーライスという料理は、それを取り入れ、アレンジした日本の食文化の一つと言えるでしょう。冒頭に先生がおっしゃられた通り、インドと日本の文化の融合の結晶なのです。
前原くんの言うことはわかります。でも、それとおにぎりにどんな関係が？
It's like Japanese naan.
とても簡単なことなんですよ。カレーもおにぎりも、お米を美味しく食べるための知恵なんです。
He's stretching. Rice was introduced to Japan from ancient China. Our agricultural forebears watered the fields, fighting the elements, disease, and pests to grow and raise our rice-centric culture. Yes, the Japanese people have formulated a plethora of dishes, but they were nothing more than attempts to find ways to enjoy eating rice. In other words,
カレーもおにぎりも、同じ米食文化の結晶なのです。
rice culture! I was scattered at first, but slowly grew into a steady roar. It was a thunderous applause that praised me.
よまいごともほどほどになさいませ。認めませんわよ。先生はカレーの出来を採点してますのよ。こんなのは採点外。0点がふさわしいに決まってるでございますわ。先生、ケイチ君は頑張ったんです。認めてあげてください。
カレーの授業のはずだったのに、どうしましょう。
Mion, stifling her laughter, stepped forward.
かつてフランスからある高名なシェフが来日した時、ホテルの人たちが様々な材料をフランスから空輸したんだそうです。でもそのシェフはそれらに見向きもしませんでした。
どうしてなのですか？本場の材料さんなのですよ。
It's because he was in a different land. He wanted to learn to cook with that stuff. The stuff from
シェ
Japan.
フは地元の漁港へ行き、日本で採れた新鮮な幸を使って料理を作ったそうです。食文化は決められたルールに縛られるものじゃない。文化なんです。日本に来れば日本の文化と溶け合って、また新しいものを形作る。
I like that.
だから、カレーもおにぎりも同じ日本の文化なんです。
Mion? She was providing fire support. I had to be grateful. The judges were somehow moved by the completely complicated yet baseless trivia. A stern look washed over the teacher's face as she refolded her arms.
前原くんはカレーのお鍋をひっくり返してしまったそうですね。危ないから気をつけなさいと初めにあれだけ言ったのに。
すみません。
ですが、前原くんや園崎さんが言うように、食文化には垣根はありません。人を心底感嘆させるものなら、その形式は何ら差別されるものではない。
じゃあ
お鍋をひっくり返したので、
Yeah.
減点20。でも、今日だけですよ。くじけないで頑張ったので、特別に20点プラス。100点をあげておきましょう。
Really? I feel like that's a bit of a stretch to give him 100. My underclassmen left at me. A perfect score. We did it. We did it! The curry was split and our rice was taken, but we made a comeback. In the end, Rika-chan's curry also received full marks, so everybody but Rena had a perfect score. Since the contest was outside the scope of regular club activities, there wasn't any particular penalty game. Rena breathed a sigh of relief.
さて、約束だぞ。さとこにリカちゃん、君たちのカレーは没収する。
それじゃ ルがなくなっちゃいますわ。
No, it's okay. You can have Rena's. You know, she worked so hard. She made such a good curry. You can enjoy it. You know, after all, like, it's perfectly fine, right? It wasn't sabotaged. Satoko stomped angrily on the ground in frustration, but the price of defeat was absolute.
と言いたいところだが、情けだ。半分は食ってよし。
圭一、ありがとうなのです。
My two prodigies peered over from the sidelines, tears of joy streaming from their faces. We exchanged glances that would only be understood amongst men. We did it, Maibara-san. This is all thanks to you. We flashed each other a thumbs up.
さて、このカレーは後輩たちに渡してった。俺も腹が減ったよな。自分のおにぎりでも食うか。ってあれ
There was no trace of my onigiri. The ones I'd set aside for myself included. As I peered around searching for them, the principal clapped a hand on my shoulder.
さっきの前原君の話を聞いていたら、噛み締める米の味がひときわ美味での。
ひょっとして俺の分も食べちゃいました？
He just laughs. The principal simply laughed without answering. Seriously? My eyes half brimming with tears, my stomach grumbling, I was called over by the teacher.
前原くん、さっきはああいう場だったので満点ということにしましたが、分かっていますね。
Yeah.
え？分かってって何がっすか？
There was an odd glint in the teacher's eyes. If I had to describe it, it was a curry-colored. Like a pot of stewing curry, her eyes whirled about in a spiral. Oh no. A chill washed over me. The teacher clutched me by the shoulders and drew me in closer until our noses were almost touching.
カレーはこの世で一番尊くて神聖な素晴らしい料理です。それとおにぎりを同一扱いするなんて断固許せません。いいですか？カレーは四大河川文明に匹敵する第五の文明として古代インドに生まれ、アショカ王の時代にカピラ城で釈迦の生誕に万国食文化博覧会が絶賛して、ミシュランぐるぐるエッフェル塔すらもカレー漬けをぐつぐつ煮込んで、ターメリックを寝ても覚めてもカレーカレーカレーカレー。
Yeah, this is God. She's a psychopath too. They're all crazy, all crazy.
ちょっと圭一さん、何をフラフラしてますの？後片付けもお料理の一部ですのよ。圭一くん、目がカレーだよ。どうしたのかな、この。
Curry, curry, curry.
あっちゃー、やられたか。大丈夫。一昼夜で元に戻るよ。多分。
Probably. It wasn't that long before hunger brought me back to my senses. Well, that was fun. The curry wars. Beautiful. Alright, let's see. Part of me is like wondering if I should stop here just because it's been a bit. I can normally like just going to the end of the chapter and doing the tips. Maybe I can go. Let's go a little longer. In the end, all the onigiri was eaten by the principal, so I had to make do without lunch. Skipping lunch, I never knew the afternoon could be so long and painful. A feeling other than drowsiness made me space out.
大丈夫かな、圭一くん。だからレナのカレー食べなよって言ったのに。
As if I could eat that curry with enough salt in it to make my blood pressure rise just by looking at it. Is what I said as I initially refused. I could only regret it. The hunger, the stomach ache.
まあまあ、よくしのいだよ。あの絶対的な状況下から。つくづくケイちゃんは追い詰められてからが強いね。
He is actually. He manages well, better than you think.
今はどんな褒め言葉もいらん。飯をくれ。
うちに帰れば何かあるんでしょ？
うちってお菓子とかの買い置きはないんだよ。カップ麺も今は底をついてるし。
我慢して待ってれば今日のお夕食はきっと美味しいよ。
I had absolutely no intention of laughing along.
じゃあ私はこの辺で。また今日もバイトでね。慣れない職種はしんどいよ。
Ah, that job at Angel Mort's family restaurant, huh? That uniform was something somewhat stimulating.
やっぱウェイトレスさんってハードワークなんだな。
ゃんってウェイトレスさんやってるの？本当に本当に？どこのお店かな？は
違う。私は、そう、先日のおもちゃ屋さんの店番なの。ウェイトレスさんはシオンで。
Yeah, there she is again. Ah, my bad. I completely forgot about how it ended up being.
ごめん。あまりにもよく似てるから間違えた。
ケイチくん、シオンって誰かな？
Crap! We're gonna ask the obvious question.
ミオンの双子の妹なんだよ。性格は違うけど、外見は瓜二つなんだ。
そうそう。外見は似てるけど中身は大違いなんだよ。私は優しくて思慮深いけど、シオンは冷めてておっかない性格なんだよね。
Oh, okay. So that's the alter ego we met at the end of the first chapter, huh?
多分生まれた時にミオンの女の子らしい部分は全部シオンに行っちゃったんだと思う。
Oh!
ミオンと違って実
Oh!
にはにかんだ笑顔の似合う可愛い女の子なんだ。
You're gonna die, bro.
じゃ
Rena interjected as her eyes darted back and forth from our exchange.
あ。そうなの？レナ会ったことないの？みーちゃん、妹がいるなんて話してくれたことあったっけ？
Shion's existence was already being exposed to the cover-up. I couldn't help Mion out here. I could have only have her end the charade. Charade.
レナには紹介したことなかったかな。私の双子の妹でシオンって言うんだよ。
知らないよ。聞いてないよ。みーちゃん家に行っても会ったことな
Oh
いよ。
no. It's scary Rena coming out, isn't it? She doesn't like lies.
その、ほら、知ってるでしょ？バッチャと住んでるのは私だけだから。シオンは沖宮の実家に住んでるの。あんまり仲が良くないから、こっちには来ないんだけどね。
Miranda's face indicated she wasn't sure if she was convinced. She was usually a bit of an airhead, but she was unusually sharp when it came to these kinds of things. Yeah, she was.
まあ嘘じゃないんだ。信じてやってくれ。
As she said, yeah, I believe you, a smile suddenly blossomed on Miranda's face.
レナもいつか会ってみたいな。今度レナもお顔を見に行ってみるね。どこのお店で働いてるのかな？
She's getting more tangled in her web. I could tell that Mion was getting increasingly frantic. I wanted to help her out, but it was hard for an outsider to butt in on family issues.
ごめん、バイトもう急がないと。じゃあね、レナにケイちゃん、また明日。
Unilaterally ending the conversation, Mion headed home. No matter how you looked at it, she was running away. Well, just label this one as an emergency escape.
みーちゃんなんだか可愛かった。なんでかな？
Miranda's giggle in amusement. I don't trust that giggle. That's a scary giggle. I wonder when dinner is. Would lying down be the best way to conserve energy? I sprawled in the entryway without even taking off my shoes. As I was losing the last vestiges of my consciousness, the doorbell rang. It seemed I had a guest.
はいどうぞ。開いてますよ。
I directed my listless voice to the door. Oh!
どうもこんにちは。って、ケイちゃん、何やってんですか？
Oh, hello? Oh. Interesting. So that's the remake art style. Dang, she does look really good with her hair down. Interesting that the necklace is there in the remake and in the original, but not in the console version. Dang, yeah, that's a pretty cool design. Alright, back. But yeah, what are you doing? See, my guest was Mion, or rather Shion. She seemed shocked when she saw me sprawled out in the entryway.
シオンか。またどうして？
I thought that Shion's existence was an illusion that was limited to when Mion was at the restaurant. That's why I never even considered that Shion would appear here. Is it maybe because, like, Mion has this, like, persona that she projects, right? But she has, like, a more girlish, like, just young woman she is, right? That she's probably suppresses because she always has to be on top of her game, winning all the prizes at school, being the class representative, and also like the leader of the secret cabal, right? But maybe this is her literally letting her hair down and like, trying to kind of just be a part of herself that she doesn't get to express very often.
お姉に聞きましたよ。今日のお昼、部活で大変なことがあって、ご飯食べられなかったんですよね。
ああ、大変だったぞ。聡子に鍋を倒され、ご飯はお前に盗まれて。
だから私、シオン。
I grew red and began to mope. That's right, she was younger twin now, right?
すまん。それで、空腹の俺のために、差し入れでも持ってきてくれたのか？
ありゃ、図星を疲れちゃってなんだかがっかりですけど、これ。
Yeah, she might, like, Mion/Shion might win the prize as best character in this game so far. She's very sweet when she wants to be, but it's kind of sad that she feels like she has to hide, like, behind a fake personality to be really nice and like, you know, just like a sweet person. With a disappointed smile, Shion handed a small bento box she had hidden behind her back.
本当に差し入れなのかよ。サンキュー。
お姉が学校に持って行ったハンバーグの残りがあったんで、ちょっと持ってきました。お夕飯前だとは思いますけど、いかがかなって思いまして。迷惑でしたか？
迷惑なんてめっそうもない。すげえ嬉しいよ。
Aww.
本当に食っていいのか？
Sneaking a look inside the box to say she just put some leftovers inside would be a lie. There's an elegant meal stuffed inside.
本当にいいのか？これタバスコとかがいっぱい入ってるとかそういう冗談じゃないのかよ。
That's rude.
もうお姉じゃないんですから。私そんなことしませんよ。別に嫌なら無理しなくても、帰って自分で食べちゃいますから。
Saying that, she pouted cutely and made a motion as if to snatch the box back. There were some times that made me doubt that she was the same person as Mion, and this is undoubtedly one of those moments.
全然嫌じゃないです。感謝の心を忘れずに噛み締めたいと思います。
そんな鼻水垂らされて感謝されるほどのことじゃ。
Shion, who had thought that I might not take the bento, looked down happily.
何もないけど上がってくか。お茶くらいなら出せるかも。
ごめんなさい。またの機会にします。私バイトに行く途中ですから。
Oh, that's right. She did say that before.
お弁当箱は適当に水洗いして、明日お姉にでも返しといてくださいね。
当然だぜ。こんなうまそうなのを食わせてもらったら、それぐらい礼儀だろ
う。じゃあ私はこれで。あと最後に。
Yeah? Shion grew red again as she looked down once more.
お姉がカレーの時、黙ってケイちゃんのご飯取っちゃいましたよね。悪ふざけが過ぎるとお姉、ついやりすぎちゃうんです。
Dang.
決して悪気があったわけじゃ。
おい、別に俺はあんなのなんとも部活の上でのことは恨みっこなしだからな。毎回スリリングに楽しませてもらってるのをこっちが感謝したいぐらいだぜ。
Oh, okay.
そうミオンに伝えてくれるか？
はい、それお姉きっと喜ぶと思います。ではこの辺で。
Shion smiled brightly. After bowing deeply, she left as she looked at her watch.
嬉しいけど、これ本当に大丈夫なんだろうな。
It is sad that she, like I said, it's really sad that she feels like she has to like hide behind a different persona to just be like a really like kind, sweet, kind of girly person. I looked at the bento box that she left behind. A faint warmth spread through the palm of my hand. If it were Mion, I could see hot sauce, mustard, maybe even a needle being mixed inside. Don't even bring that shameful thing up. But really, I don't think she'd go as far as putting a needle in there. Why ruin this moment? I opened the box once again and hastily tasted a bit. I took a bite. And another. There was no funny business. There was no danger at all, for it was delicious. That's right. That was Shion, not Mion. So there shouldn't be anything to worry about. I rushed back to my room, eating as I gave my thanks. It was so delicious my stomach could cry.
シオン、いや、ミオン、 俺が空腹で死にそうって言ってたのを聞いて、大急ぎで持ってきてくれたのか。
It was delicious to the last bite. By the way, nothing strange had been mixed in. It was a bit embarrassed at myself for being so skeptical. I hate that. Because it shows so much more about Mion and, like, who she is. And it's like, she went full psycho mode and, like, literally tries to kill him. But, like, there's something so, like, genuine in her. Like, under the surface. That's crazy. Food for thought. Get an unexpected delivery. Alright, let's do the new tips real quick and we're going to round it off. It was delicious.
おい、ミオン。これ。
何よ、ケイちゃん。
I thrust the bento box she'd given me yesterday at her face.
昨日差し入れてもらった弁当箱だよ。
Shion.
ごちそうさま。
Shion. Come on.
うまかったぜ。
Mion's face quickly flashed bright red. Hey, now you were the one pretending to be Shion when you gave it to me. You're gonna give it away. You're gonna give it away if you get all red like that when you're being Mion. At this rate, she might trip and fall right into her own grave. So I decided to help her out.
あのな、俺、昨日腹を空かせてたらさ、シオンがわざわざ家まで来て、弁当を差し入れてくれたんだよ。で、これはその弁当箱。ちゃんと洗ってあるからな。
そうなんだ。シオンは気が利くね。
That was so transparent. Was Mion always this terrible at lying? Her expression was different than usual, but it looked strangely cute.
どうだった？
Uh-huh, yeah, I'm sure.
ミオンに瓜二つなやつだと思うぞ。だって双子なんだろ？似てて当然だよ。
じゃなくて、
Mion looked kind of bewildered, like she was waiting for a specific answer. When she said impression, maybe she didn't mean Shion but the bento?
ああ、もちろん。うまかったぜ。
本当に？
Yeah, I kind of get the vibe that this chapter is trying to display is that while like Keiichi and Rena were kind of like they were kind of becoming a thing. It looks like it's kind of trying to paint this picture that Mion also likes Keiichi, but she can't she feels like she can't make a move about it. And this is like these are the stories that are kind of displaying that. And she made a new persona out of panic, but she's using it as a vehicle to kind of like have these special moments with him, even if she feels like she can't actually do that.
俺は食い物の感想には嘘はつかないぞ。俺がうまかったって言ったら、誰が食ったってうまい。万人におすすめできる評価だと思っていいぞ。シオンに実に美味しかったって伝えておいてくれ。
シオンにね、伝えておくよ。きっと喜ぶと思うよ。
We're getting along with Shion and having given it to me, not Mion, aren't we? Her laugh, it came from deep down. It sounded really happy. I guess she really can laugh nicely enough to know enough that just looking at her makes me feel better too. A sarcastic remark made its way to my tongue, but I swallowed it back. As Mion went to put the bento box in her bag, she noticed a clattering noise.
ケイちゃん、なんか入ってるよ。あれ？はあ。
Oh, guess she opened it. The thing is, I was a little embarrassing, so I wish she hadn't opened it here. Panicking, I hid it with my hands.
な、これはだな。うちのお袋がお礼に入れとけって言ったんだ。別に俺のセンスじゃないんだからな。誤解すんなよ。
綺麗。飴だ。
Ah, there was a handful of candies neatly wrapped in paper inside the sparkly clean bento box. When I was cleaning the box out yesterday in the sink, Mom came over and interrogated me, so I fessed up about who'd given me the food. Then she told me that something like this is called a display of gratitude. It calls for a display of gratitude. I didn't want to, because it was embarrassing, so I argued that it wouldn't be like me to do that.
というわけなんだ。まあ、その。
I was so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed I felt like a fire might shoot out of my face. Mion laughing at the whole thing off like she usually did would be fine, but for some reason she was staring at the candy in the box with fascination.
ありがとう。
俺に言うな。入れたお袋に言ってくれ。それに、ミオンが俺を言う必要なんかないんだぞ。それはシオンにあげるものなんだ。
うん。そうだよね。うん。シオンに伝えておくね。きっとシオンも嬉しがると思うよ。
Mion, looking a little downtrodden, put the lid back on the box. Seems like I ended up saying something a little mean in the end. Man, that sucks. I get it though, I get it.
今日はなんだかみーちゃん、ほんわかな感じだね。かな。風邪でもひいたんではありませんの？お顔が赤いのはきっと微熱のせいでしたよ。って、リカ、なんで私の頭を撫でますの？さとこもきっとそのうちお風邪をひけるようになりますですよ。
That's okay. Pet pet. Gosh darn it. That sucks. Like, it's cute, but it also sucks. Because A, we know what happens in the future. It's horrifying. And again, I still feel like it's so sad that she feels like she has to hide behind Shion. Although that line clearly very blurry for her. But yeah, it is what it is. Well, that's where we're going to end things for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate your time here, and I really enjoyed making this content. It's really fun, and I enjoy this story, and it's depressing, though. Like, it kind of sucks that I keep seeing, like, little hints about stuff. I know that there's more hints in there that I'm probably missing or don't see the, like, significance of. And then, like, it really had to take, like, one of, like, so far, one of my favorite moments we've seen in this entire, like first chapter and second chapter with the bento box. Like, I thought that whole sequence was fantastic. It was so sweet and just so fun. And then had to ruin it by mentioning needles and food. It's like, you can't even have nice things with this game, can you? You always have to have that lingering darkness just right over your shoulder, just, you know, stepping one step closer every day. It's just like, no good. But it's alright. Here we are. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me on the channel, especially the patrons and members. You're amazing for supporting me directly like you do. I don't deserve it. I just don't feel like I do, but I'm grateful that you do it because it means a lot to me. And I hope that you all have enjoyed the time that you spend here. And of course, if you're just watching this, thank you so much. Like, especially for a channel like mine, every person is a treasure. Every person is a treasure no matter what on a channel, because, like, it's just people watching and sharing content that you have. But, like, I feel like it probably gets so easy to just start seeing it as a number after a while rather than seeing it as individuals. And I want to try and always remember that. And I'm really grateful for each and every one of you watching. Thank you. But for now, let's take a break. Got more stuff coming out this week. It should be good fun. I'm glad I'm feeling a lot better and looking forward to all the fun stuff to be able to do. I should have a new Baldur's Gate 3 episode coming out soon. I just need to make the time to edit it down. But I think I'll be able to make some good progress on that this week. So I'm excited for that because it's been a long time coming. Had a lot of issues come up and a lot of stuff I had to, like, work out. But all in all, I'm excited for that series to continue forward. Anyway, thank you all so much for being here. Thank you so much for being a part of this channel. And until the next video you're watching me happen to see me in next, I'll see you there.